Hello and welcome back to another Bionicle 2015 set preview. Today I have with me set number 70789, Onua, Master of Earth. Now before we get into this video, I'd like to preface this by stating that once again, this is a Comic-Con build, and what this means is that this is essentially a mock that we created using the pieces we received at the VIP party hosted at the Flatiron LEGO store during New York Comic-Con. As such, there may be a few inaccuracies between this and the retail version of the set. But with the help of a few community members, the guidance from the Bionicle team itself, and our own personal experience with the set in hand at Comic-Con, we do believe that this is a fairly accurate portrayal of the set. And as such, we will be going over a few pros and cons of this particular build, and whether those pros and cons actually translate to the retail version or not will be covered in a separate video once the set's been officially released in January. But as always, we will include an image gallery in the description for you to look at and pick apart anything we might have done wrong. But with all that said, let's get into the set itself. Now, there's one thing I have to say just to start this off. Onua is massive. He has, without a doubt, the most complex build of all the Toa, and man, is he worth that $20 price tag. Now, as with the other Toa, Onua does come with a gearbox, and utilizing these gears here, he can in fact utilize his arm in a lovely attacking motion. And with the help of a ball joint here and these nice friction extenders, Onua can hold practically any pose you can put your mind through, and that is awesome to see because not only do the gear functions harken back to the original 01 sets, but they fix the issue of posability by adding this feature. Now, not only does Onua have some nice playability, but you could put him in any pose you want. Now, as with all the other Toa, Onua is comprised of two separate builds. One is a wireframe for all of his armor plating, utilizing the HF torso here. The other is the gearbox system, where you also attach the arms. Now, here you can kind of see just how complex Onua's build actually is. And over here, you can see how the shoulder armor attaches to these ball joints in here, and the chest piece utilizes this socket here. So what this means is that Onua doesn't have any exposed ball joints. Yes, thank you. And because of this, I would say that Onua probably has the most solid build of all the Toa, next to Kopaka. Now, Onua's color scheme is rather intriguing because he combines quite a lot of colors here. He's got silver, gold, purple, and gray. And a little yellow here. Man, that's a lot of colors. And as someone who's used to Bionicle usually only having at least two colors, one primary and one secondary, and maybe some silver thrown in, I gotta say, I'm a fan of this. I don't know what it is, but I feel like these colors really go together, and he's got them dispersed really evenly around his body. And I don't know what it is, some people might not agree with me, but man, I just love these colors, and I find them very complimentary. Now, it should be noted that Onua does in fact include stickers for his chest piece, and that is something unique to him, as all the other Toa have printed chest pieces. Now, the stickers weren't actually available at the VIP party, unfortunately, so sadly I am not able to put that on his chest to show you what that looks like, but even without it, I feel like Onua does a really good job of dispersing his colors all around his build, so that's really nice to see. Now, his color scheme does deviate quite a bit from the Onua of the past, and typically we're used to more just standard black and gray, but I actually feel like the purple really does add some nice, unique highlighting to his color scheme, and I think that definitely helps. Now, objectively, the gold does stand out a little bit, but I still personally feel it's pretty complimentary. But this set might have actually benefited from having those silver parts rather than the gold. And speaking of colors, this is absolutely beautiful. I love this piece, this trans purple piece. And as a fan of Bionicle, I am glad to see that purple is being used again. This is just awesome. I love this piece. Now, as with the other Toa, Onua does have some dual functionality. His awesome battle hammer can split apart and become his claws. And then the hilt of his hammer can safely store right here on his back for use whenever he needs it, which is really, really cool. Now, these claws seem to look more like shovels personally, but I feel like it's a nice combination of the traditional Onua claws and more of his drills here. It kind of combines the aesthetic of both weapons, and that's pretty neat. And by adding the complimentary golden mask of Earth, you have yourself full-on Onua in adrenaline mode. Now, like Tahu, Onua does come with a lime green skull spider, and it can, in fact, attach to his face like so. Wait a minute. What is this? What? No. No way. Impossible. The skull spider can fully attach? Yes, as you can see, Onua's neck is actually long enough to support attaching the skull spider properly, without the legs getting in the way of his chest. This is amazing. And probably one of the few gripes I have for the other Toa, because installing the skull spider itself always seemed really difficult for some reason. But here, as you can see, Onua has it on, and it was able to easily attach, and oh man, that just makes me so happy. And as with the other Toa, Onua can in fact launch the skull spider off his face. Along with this Pakari, which I'm not really sure why he would want to do that, but hey, that feature is there. But that is pretty much it for Onua. Overall, I really, really love this set. Originally, I wasn't that big fan of it, but having the set in hand and seeing it in person really won me over. And I gotta say, I think this might just be my favorite set of all the Toa. I love his color scheme, I love his build. In fact, the build alone is worth that $20 price tag. And I think overall, he has a very solid, imposing stature that just really screams epicness. And man, trans purple. I love that color. But will the next set live up to Onua's awesomeness? Find out next time when we review set number 70786, Gali, Master of Water.